institutions, the market and bus stations would be managed. And he had to sort for the creation of the what he called the Market and Bus Stations Task Force, in which I was part of that team, including Elvis Nkandu, who is now the Minister of Youth and Sport. By then, the Minister of Local Government was Honorable Masebo, and I'm glad he's now in government again under the new Dawn administration. She's the Minister of, I think, Health currently. We had, I think, 4 people from Azia, Elvis, myself, then we had the late Alfred Kaira, and also the current president for Avema, Ebo Chikwa. We had the other representatives of the document. It's confidential document with me, which might not be shared by anyone, but it's a confidential. These are the recommendations that came from the task force after we went around the country to just get the views of the people on how they felt markets and bus stations were to be managed. The surprise was that when this document came out in 2007, most of the things that people recommended did not appear in this document. So what we did just in 2007, Raphael, we had to write to the president, by then President Mwanawasa, to highlight things that we felt were not in conformity with what the people had talked about. So there were different issues that we raised. And one of the issues, if you read this document of the Market Act, at the end it says, after these documents comes into effect, all associations and organizations operating in markets should cease to operate in markets. For us, that was a fundamental breach of the rights of the people that are operating in markets, because as workers, just like any worker, they have the right to be at the workplace to represent their fellow workers, just like we have union offices at the local authority. There's never been a day where the council have said, can you shut a union office at the civic center? The issue is that they have the right to be there. Then the second part was that the kind of system of management that was indicated in this document was not the kind of system that people had proposed in the recommendation. I have this document, Raphael, which we signed with the municipal council as the best way of how we felt markets and bus stations were to be managed in the country, which were less costly. Now, first, it is very concerning, and we are very shocked that currently all governments of the world are looking at ways and means of making some sort of economic recovery of its citizens, because people were and are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. And most of the people in markets and bus stations are out of business because they have, one, no clients. Their clienteles have minimized. Then second, there are those whose capital have just been washed out because the kind of business that they were doing and they are doing cannot let them to continue to do their business. So they are out of business. So most of governments are looking at ways and means on how they can recapitalize people's business for them to go back into their businesses. It is shocking that in Kitwe and maybe in Zambia, we are having people that want to start getting money from the people that have been affected so much economically. Why I'm saying so, Raphael, is that when you go in this act, when you read this act at subsection 21 and 25, these market boards will need to be paid allowances each time they sit. That's number one. Number two, each market. I'm surprised that when you were reading the formation of this market, there was the combination of Chisoko name being with another market and another market and another market. Then there is a formation of a board. This act says each market should have a market board, not the combination of markets, but each market must have a market board. Now, if you go at Chamboli market, for example, where I trade, and there is a market board established there, this act stipulates that we need to have a market manager and staff. Now, that market manager is a professional individual with the relevant qualifications. And from my experience of these market managers, if you go to Lusaka, that person may be paid not less than somewhere around 25,000 kwacha. It will mean that people at Chamboli market will have to pay more to make sure that that market manager and staff are paid. Now, we are talking about people who are grappling with their economic livelihood now. Why should the government that is of the people, created by the people, and is for the people, starting to again robbing people the little that they have?
All right. So, Mr. Kashiwa, just to put the point straight, you are objecting to the formation of these market boards and the bus stations.
In affirmative, Raphael.
In affirmative.
In affirmative, yes.
All right, Mr. Sakala, what is your take? I know last week I had chatted with you about this development. As Avema, what is the main wish that you want to see out of this?
Thank you so much, Rafael. As Avema, we represent the marketeers, and we have got many marketeers on the ground. Here in Kitwe alone, we have got more than 28 branches. Now, we are there to represent the voice of voiceless. If we look at this board, it has just come to surprise the association that the Kitwe City Council have just started going direct to the marketeers with a megaphone announcing that there will be a market board, minus even engaging the major stakeholders.
Okay, you are the major stakeholders. How do you wish, how do you need the council to engage you?
We expect
what type of engagement do you want? Is it that engagement that gives you a position whereby you present whatever you want on how the board should be run, or what is it that you are looking for?
No, what we were looking for was the local authority was supposed to call a meeting for the stakeholders to discuss over this matter, which is very hot. But Raphael, if you have heard from Kashiwa here, he has articulated how this started. It started a way back, that was in 2007 by the late President Patrick Mwanawasa. If you count how many presidents have been there, we had the Arabi, Michael Chilufya-Sata, ECL. All these presidents didn't implement this act. The question that we can ask is, why all these presidents? It's because this act is a bad act, and as marketeers, we cannot support a document which want to disadvantage us.
All right, I want to state clearly here that obviously this law existed before you as Avema or maybe Azia was formed, right?
Yes.
Okay, so are we trying to be enemies of our own laws?
No,
because I believe the reason why this act came into being was for the smooth operation of the markets and bus stations.
Even before, that is 2007, we had Zanama. which were representing marketeers. So these we stakeholders, we are always there because we are the marketeers. So we are not saying that we are against the laws, but if the laws are not good for the people, then we cannot support that. So as association, the position of us as a association of vendors and marketeers, we are saying no to this act. Raphael, let me say this act is saying you should have a minimum of 8 people. Mm-hmm. Out of 8 people, only 3 should be in informal sector. Mm-hmm. Now, if you count from there, the majority, when there will be an agenda, because this management board, they'll make decisions. We have seen the boards in ZESCO or ZESCO management board, whereby they make decisions to increase tariff, minus engaging in the stakeholders. They will just decide, no, we are increasing the tariff today. And no one can talk about that. And this is what we are also fearing if this formation of these boards comes to marketeers. But Rafa, let me finish this. Mm-hmm. Though these boards, these who will be in management board, we are talking about 3 against 5, because 8. When they will say, let's vote, we want to demolish Chisoko market, it's management board which are debating that. And when they say we demolish Chisoko market, they will table that and let's vote. Automatically, the informal sector, those marketeers who fail to defend that.
The qualifications are very clear here. Be a Zambian citizen in possession of a green national registration card, be a current marketeer in the respective market, have names and details appear in the market register, is not legally disqualified, is supported by 7 supporters trading within that market, 1 proposer, 1 seconder, and 5 other supporters. This is for the, I'm coming to you, this is for the board that will be in charge of running the market. Mr. Kashiwa, what is your bone of contention regarding the formation of this? What you as Azia would love to be put in place?
Firstly, I don't know what article you are reading, because what you are reading there is not part of what the act says.
This is actually the latest provision from the council. It was actually released last week as a guide to how these boards will be established.
Raphael, we should not be talking about illegalities here. If people have to respect what is in the act, people should just promulgate anything that favors them. When we are talking about the Market and Bus Station Act, this act does not only talk about market boards. It talks about even other things that the council should do to provide the services to the people. These other things that are for the council. The council have done nothing other than just going straight to establish the market boards. So I would want you that when we are speaking to what the provisions of the act says, not only what comes from the council, because those are also interested individuals like we are. It is important that when we are discussing, I was with the TC yesterday at FM, we were discussing the same issue. And this is what I said. If we don't discuss national issues with level-headedness, we are creating a confusion within ourselves and within the city.
What are some of the confusions that you want to get rid of?
Yes, and this is what I previously said. Firstly, number one, we are talking about the government of the people, created by the people and for the people. Just like Sakala has mentioned, we have had 3 presidents, 3 regimes in between. And each time this issue comes, there are concerns that are raised that need attention. And for me, I'm very happy that when we are discussing this issue, we have Honorable Masebo in government, and also we have Elvis Nkandu, who was leading the informal economy part on the same issue. If you heard 2 weeks ago when he was officiating at the Zanamaka Golf fundraising tournament, he mentioned about the market boards. It was very clear. He said, I'm from the markets and I understand the issue of the Market Act, especially the issue of the market boards. It is not good. Please, can associations come together? Our government is open. He was representing Gary Nkombo by then. Our government and the local government is open to rediscuss this issue because it disadvantages the informal economy, the marketeers, and those that are operating in bus stations. So if the minister says that, it tells you that this act does not favor. It infringes on the rights of the people who are the major stakeholders. We don't have money, Raphael, to pay a market manager at Chamboli. We don't have money to pay a market manager and staff at Pusukiro Market. If the Kitwe City Council can go this route of having a memorandum of understanding with the people who are the major stakeholders, this is less expensive. This is very much less expensive.
All right.
Now, it is not only 8. It is not only 8. 8 is the minimum. The maximum is 11.
Yes.
So if you count the numbers stipulated in this act, it's only 6 members. 6 members, 3 from the organizations, 3 from the marketeers, 1 from the Ministry of Local Government, 1 from the community per se. So it's what about the other 5? Where are they coming from? For us who understands what this means, all the other 5 will come from other government departments. It will mean 8 versus the 3 in decision making, and you are the major stakeholder. How do you allow such a situation? It is just important that government listen to what we are talking about. We have already written, for us, we have already written to the Minister of Local Government about our concerns. Mm-hmm. And we are hoping that in no time we will sit with the Minister. But even before them, Gary Nkombo has the privilege that he is having Honorable Masebo and Elvis Nkandu within the cabinet, whom he should consult and get the issues at hand before this issue brings chaos and confusion.
All right, Mr. Sakala, you mentioned something that this has been there, and the previous heads of states have not actually approved it or signed it to implemented it like you have put it. Among the functions that have been actually outlined, like I'm just going to read another one, like create a conducive environment in the market or bus station for the benefit of all stakeholders. Maintain, utilize, acquire, develop, and improve any property of the market or bus station. During the period that you've been operating as AVEMA, what are some of the biggest challenges being faced by marketeers have you addressed that the local authority have failed?
Thank you so much. Barafa, if we look at the local authority, in fact, for me, it has given me a very big question, because the new government, what we actually were supposed to do was, this law has been there since 2007, mm-hmm. and it has not been implemented. So what the Honorable Minister of Local Government, before he could give the directive and what have you, was supposed to call up a stakeholders meeting. Why? To consult, so that he can have the details of this document. Now, the question that I may ask is, as the Kitwe, or as the all councils in Zambia failed, now they are saying they want to implement these market boards, which will also employ more workers, as Mr. Kashiwa has put it, that we need market managers. Now, if you look at instead to address some of the challenges, we are saying the country has got no money. The country has got no money. The economy is bad. Instead to address the few, because the retro money that we have, we are collecting from these low marketeers. Marketeers are paying levies. Each and every market, they are paying levies. Now, instead to address their challenges, marketeers need to have proper infrastructure. I can give an example of, you have asked the very good question that what are some of the things that you have addressed. I'll start from in 2016 when Avema was formed. He found that Nakadori was a white elephant. When we say it was a white elephant, there were no people. Council were not collecting anything there. But we had to sit down. What should we do? We are the stakeholders. This government constructed this to us marketeers. So we must utilize this, and the council should do correct some revenues from here. What did we do? We came up with a strategy as marketeers, of which we presented this to the local authority. One, we said they should reduce the rentals. Two, we said they should write off the shop areas. Three, we said they should also write off the ZESCO areas. When we presented these three things, which was the hindrances to boost that new Nakadori market, the council said no, we cannot manage to do this. What did we do as an association? That's why people should understand the market committees have got no powers to sit with the government. As an association, because we have got the national leaders, district leaders, we work together. We went further to talk to the provincial minister. From there, to cut the story so short, the local government minister, until the head of state came. And that's why you see all those pronouncements were made. So one, association, we made sure that Nakadori market was boosted. Two, if you look at some of the markets, we talk about Tuatasha market, it had no shelter. There is a shelter now which is going on there. You go to Zamtan, there's a shelter there. It's because of the association. You go to St. Anton, there's a shelter. Uyantashi market, it was sold. It is us, the association, who talk to the government and say, would you reverse this so that our marketeers can benefit? You go to Uyantashi market now, shops are coming up. They are building up. They are building. Marketeers are building. These are some of the things. Mr.
Sakala, was that done in the best interest of saving the people in the informal sector, or to gain political mileage?
Not to gain political mileage, but to represent the marketeers. We are the leaders. Because I'm a leader in Kitwe district. If I don't represent when marketeers are suffering, it should pain me. Take up, for instance, markets in Sokoni market. We had some tragedy whereby market Yaripona. What happened? We as association, we went direct to talk to the head of state. So these are some of the things that we are doing. If you remember very well, in Kitwe, there are no empowerment programs. We introduced these empowerment programs. We have seen number of marketeers benefiting from this. It's because of the association. We are fighting for the marketeers. Our interest, we work with the government of the day, by the way. Now UPND is in power. We work with the UPND government to make sure that UPND delivers to our marketeers the development that we want.
Mr. Kashiwa,
if you go to 722, there's no toilet. We want the Kitwe City Council to provide a toilet there, not to introduce the board.
Mr. Sakala, hold your fire. I'm still coming back to you. Mr. Kashiwa, I want you to state here categorically so that the listeners can have a clear understanding regarding the rejection by some of you associations that these management boards for markets and bus stations should not come into existence. What is the main issue here?
Let me just read. I think it is important for me, as I mentioned, that what was recommended to government and appreciated and accepted by the late President Levi Patrick Mwanawasa is not what is in the act. Let me just read 5 of the recommendations which was submitted to government.
Maybe 3 will be fine for the sake of time.
First, number one, okay, I'll read maybe 3. Provision, the proposed amendments to the Markets Act, Cap 290 of the laws of Zambia, as provided for by the Zambian people. 1, I'll go at number 3. Number 3, there must be a provision in the Act for 2 categories of markets. 1, community markets and council markets. This entails that there are markets that are not built by the local authority, and Tsokone market is one of those. All those infrastructures at Tsokone market are not built by the local authority, so it should not be a council market. That should be a community market. The next one is that the Act, in line with the policy of decentralization, the ministry authority to establish market should be replaced by the local authorities or other organizations. Are you listening? Other organizations or institutions with the approval of the local authority. This has not been done. The third one is that the Act should be amended to provide for the management of community markets by organizations and institutions. These were major submissions which are not part of this Act. And when we demanded again that this Act should be repealed, the President acknowledged the deficit. And what he promised us, he told us that in 6 months' time, this issue will be addressed, because that is the procedure, I think, of Parliament if they want to go back to the law which has been done. So in the process of waiting for 6 months, unfortunately, His Excellency passed on. This issue was again put on the table during the President Michael Sata's reign. Unfortunately, again, when we were just discussing about the Market Act and also the provision of the social protection to the informal economy, President Michael Sata died. We have again sent back the same issues to Honorable Nkombo, because for us, this was a betrayal of the government of what the people wanted.
All right. Betrayal of the people by government. So, are you clearly stating that in totality, this Act should not be implemented until whatever you proposed are included?
Yes, and that has been our demand since this Act came into being, that this Act is not favorable. This Act infringes on the rights of the workers in the informal economy, as recognized by the International Labour Organization Convention number 48, number 90 of 1948. We are workers who needs to be recognized as workers. You know, Sakala mentioned that the local authority is going with the megaphone to marketeers to say they should do this, they should be elect. There has never been in Zambia where government comes to you, Raphael, to speak to you as a worker of this station. No, there's never been. It's the new trend that we are seeing. Government always goes through unions.
So you are proposing that we should live by the old trends and not embrace new things?
No, you know, I've given you the rightful management system which was proposed by the people, and I have a document here with me. I think the camera can capture it. This is a document which we entered with the Mansa City Council, signed by the town clerk and these officers and our officials in Mansa.
All right. Okay, I have a WhatsApp message here I need just to read before I open the phone lines. To my own point of view, it is going to be difficult to establish new bus stations in Kitwe. The population of Kitwe is big, and we have a lot of people who are doing business in Kitwe from different towns within Copperbelt like Luansha, Mufulira, Ndola, and Chingola. Kitwe is developing every day. It is like it is like Kitwe is the second big city apart from Lusaka. Kitwe is turning into a business town. If you look at Kitwe markets and bus stations, the areas in Kitwe are very small. The planning of markets was poor before. You will find that markets are surrounded by houses. How are they going to do to establish stations and move people from one place to another? I am rejecting about this about this formation of new marketplaces. When they want to move marketeers, they have to think about people with less capital. It is not fear. Okay, Gabriel Sinyenga, Zambian citizen from Bulangililo. All right. In case you have just tuned in, this is the Community Viewpoint, and we are discussing the formation of management boards for markets and bus stations. In the studios, I have Mr. Aston Sakala, who is the Kitwe District Chairperson for the Association of Vendors and Marketeers in Zambia, and also Mr. Lamek Kashiwa, who is the Secretary General from the Alliance for Zambia Informal Economy Associations. You can call us on 0212-222-877 and 0965-000-877. That mobile line is actually the one that you can use to send in your text and WhatsApp messages. Right, 0212-222-877 is the number that you can use to participate on the Community Viewpoint. You are through to the Community Viewpoint. Your name and where you calling us from?
Muhammad Karib calling from Solwezi.
Mr.
Muhammad Karib calling from Solwezi.
All right, you can go on with your contribution or question.
For me, the point stands out that for the three regimes to reject that idea, it means that it's not welcome, and it will in fact bring chaos into the system. And as he said earlier on, the other contributor, he talked about the population, whereby the houses are closer to the market. How is it going to be done? So I'm sure it shouldn't go on because it will bring chaos, and people with little capital, they will be shut down in terms of running their business. Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you so much for that contribution. 0212-222-877. You are through to the Community Viewpoint. Your name and where you calling us from?
Good morning.
Your name and where you calling us from?
Diana within Kitwe.
Yes.
Na mwishiba yaji ashina adi sanga mutsoko ne mulodi. Ninshina abakangala balela tsoko ne badi kanele eri ashiba aleta tifwe tulefu afefira fine fi abanaka ale ni problem shasa pantwala leta feke usmandi ni twadi isanga
0212-222-877 0212-222-877. That is actually the number that you are using to participate on the Community Viewpoint. Mr. Sakala, I'm still coming back to you. We saw in the previous regime there was actually for lack of a better term the scramble for the formation of market associations, bus station associations, and the like. I'm coming back. Let us first of all pick up this call. You are through to the Community Viewpoint. Your name and where you calling us from?
Sorry, my line went to cut.
Yes, but Diana.
Okay. Aboma bazana melo bafumine kupashire piana bambi. Aboma association yala bomba yala kudila abantu amachi. Totana tumona mu kisoko ne kyachine tesio mwadi balelo kwa ngalelo ya sasha niyo ya kuma board mwingire mutampo confusion ichakula po mukambia lekeni fyo babombe balabombela abantu bakulana balondolola kola kadoli twali amona isho babomba paka mtondo apona paka mtondo na lipo na ine na lipo na mu community market mukweba ati market baitobe nangu shakwata mona nchende mwafu nifo babombela market so ukuthi lokho athi mulaleta tshokwaisa amabhodi athi kwaye amabhodi nanga tushinganyanga yayibayilemo mulya imikuitata babulongene padya pankoko awo kwali kukangana kwali kulaka so lekena abo kathungani bazana makisho balelondolola babombe nabantu mwileta chaos mu Zambia mwalaleta chaos mu Zambia imwe
0212 222877 0212222877. You are through to the community viewpoint. Your name and where you calling us from. Hello. Yes, Precious. Yes.
Bwino nga mwadika hapo na bena bamya inshi bamya krashani nimuna kwanji pakola balete body bafumye mwefi ndemo wakati wale kesho kuma ifeni kunshita ya ma politics tulamono tubungo tsago ma market kla itumpa sana ma politics then to support sana ruling party so ndemo na kwati everybody fano kuletela body ndemo wakati wale keshe kufyo by two ma politics ndemo kwati wale kuleta kabungu akashakesha mtu atemwali ikala kona tena nangu.
All right. Thank you so very much, Precious. Okay, you can call us back. Your line is actually breaking, but we have taken note of the concerns that you've raised. 0212-222877. 0212-222877. Yes, Mr. Sakala, the question that I was actually trying to ask you is what Bash Precious has talked about. That there is too much formation and establishment of associations in markets and bus stations at the expense of supporting the government of the day, and these associations most of the times are politically inclined. What are you responding to this?
Thank you so much. Let me ask you, how many unions do we have who are representing the civil servants? There are many. We have Betuzi, what, many unions. Now, what can stop any person who want to represent the marketeers to form his own association? What can stop that?
You are through to the community viewpoint. All right, kindly turn down the volume on your radio set. We cannot allow that to happen. Please be mindful and ensure that when you want to contribute, you move away from your radio set or just simply turn down the volume on your radio set. Yes, Mr. Sakala.
So what I was saying is that if the civil servants have got many unions, what about the informal sector? Why do we want just to have one association, two association? No,
I've never seen members from Zanut or Betus clad in a particular political party regalia. But that happens to the associations in markets and bus stations.
I think this is now each association, it has got.
You are through to the community viewpoint. Your name and where you calling us from?
Yes, good morning. My name is Justin Ikata, calling you from Nakadori Market in Chimama.
Yes, we are Justin.
Yes, sir.
Ngai mwe mulela ndaposhani.
Depocha ko bakashiwa na inapo ndefo kulanda ko pali ya mabodi. Ndio poza. Hello? Bodi for mwana ka.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello. All right. Okay, maybe you can call us back. Your line is cutting. All right, 0212-222877 and 0965000877. Yes, Mr. Sakala.
So what I was saying is each association, it has got its own constitution. Now, these associations, it's high time that we don't want politics mu market yo. Ekyo tatulefu politics. We want abantu abalebombera abalesta represent abantu. Awo mulemo nokutati yo bali wa inclined political and what have you. They should nani stop representing the marketeers.
Okay,
but what it is, each and every association, it has got a right to work with the government of the day.
You are through to the community viewpoint. Your name and where you calling us from?
It's me, Mofia, calling from Kitu.
Yes, Mofia, your contribution or question?
In the support, I want to and the panel.
All right, thank you so much for that short contribution. 0212222877 0212222877. Mr. Sakala, you are saying you no more will not condone the issue of members of a particular association putting on a particular political party's party regalia.
I'm not the Secretary General, but what I can say, because these have got the Secretary Generals, I've got the national leaders. I'm not the national leader, but what I'm saying is, it is wrong for a union leader or who represent the marketeers to put on party regalia. Because we are non-partisan, we represent the marketeers.
You are through to the community viewpoint. Your name and where you calling us from? Hello?
My name is Justin Tikata. Hello?
Yes. Your name and where you calling us from?
My name is Tikata. Calling you from Nakadori Market.
Yes, Mr. Justin. Mkwa, straight to your point.
Bakashwana basakala mwabombeni mkwa. Inende fokulanda for maboard abale fokubika ko market inenshira pocket area ze market ya mwana kadoli. Because ama bojo for ya bomba ifata tuyeshire kukola ati ayene ama association yafire yali bomba ema union yeri. Because ababali kitana register ku kuma register of society. So bali kwirufa abale tubombera. Because if I'm a board, if abantu bakabika mu abengiri barabako bati bambita bakabina ba market ya tabakeshu na problem facing of market.
All right.
So abama union bakuma within so that's for amasos.
All right, 0212222877 0212222877. You are through to the community viewpoint. Your name and where you calling us from?
Good morning.
Your name and where you calling us? Yes, Bashmalan. Yes.
Kwa nani issue yo ya mabodi nawe yala letu bwafye na ina mabodi ayo ni mpia yakulafu indalama mamone sonja market yapo impia bala tulo kusonkere mkwibiri bakanso basongesheku mabodi asongesheku ayo so ita mabodi fene fyo awe batontonga nyepo tafiwe mefe nangu pa no mamone uposta fye nshitefu mamone so nena ilingira kwe bati ni nchitori mbi faila makada limbi iyo bodi bapikire kwe bantonga fya kwa fyati iminefe yabakanso ngana abayibuya mo bakanso abeni umva ko fe insoni yakwe bati abantu bonse nabakana natotera mkwani.
All right, thank you so very much. This one says, good morning, Raphael. The way the council are going about this issue is like the council wants to impose their system in markets and bus stations. If that is all the council wants to bring some ideas to the market and bus stations, they should go through the associations. These associations have been in existence since 2007. Brian in Kitwe. You are through to the community viewpoint. Your name and where you calling us from?
Yeah, this is Yves from Karazi.
All right, I will have no choice but to cut you. You are through to the community viewpoint. Your name and where you calling us from? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, kindly turn down the volume on your radio set.
Yes, hello? I've moved away.
Yes, your name, sir, and where you calling us from?
Yeah, this is Uncle Biwa calling from Mundeke Masuja Market.
Yes, Uncle B, are you in support? What is your take on the formation of market boards and bus stations?
Hello?
Yes, sir, we are getting you, sir.
Yes.
I want to contribute also on this program.
Yes.
This market boards they are trying to form, they are confusing us. Because, you know, when we had the meeting last Friday, they were saying that us marketeers, we are going to pay the council will pull out when us we're going to pay the security and those sweepers we have from council, they'll stop, then the market boards will pay. Now, the question is where are we going to get the money from? So these boards are trying to bring confusion. So we discussed that maybe they can give us time so that we can read even those documents. They are saying there's a document which supporting these boards. So for me, I think the government should give us time as marketeers. We go through this document so that we can decide whether we can go ahead with the same or we just trying to organize ourselves as we do always. From 2009 to 2007, you're saying 2007, we are operating normally. Now, these boards will, I think, will bring confusion. So let government give us chance first. We think about it, then we can agree whether we can allow these boards.
All right, thank you so very much. 0212-222877. 0212-222877. Yes, Mr. Kashiwa, I'm sure from the people that have participated on the program so far, there is that rejection which is coming, and obviously there is need for that guidance that you should give. I'm coming back to you. Let me just first of all pick up this call. You are through to the Community Viewpoint. Your name and where you calling us from?
Abraham from Solwezi.
Yes, Abraham, quickly your contribution or your question.
Yes, sir. I am a board wale for Pangayo, Markadas wale for the system. So I'm going to for Friday to from away the means Yambi. So Shaba Muadite, Vare Sara Makadazio. Thank you.
0212-222-877. 0212-222-877. Yes, Mr. Kashiwa, maybe you can chip in. There is this rejection, but again, personally, I'm totally disagreeing with the previous caller, where he's saying they want to bring in cadres and the like. We saw this in the markets and bus stations, where cadres were the ones, even in associations, running the affairs of the market. Yes, Mr. Kashiwa. What is that good thing that we need to bring on the table so that it is of benefit for everyone?
Yes, if we have listening people in the governance positions or governance structures of government, I think they would have listened to what we are proposing now. And as I mentioned, we have a very good system of governance that we would like the Kitwe City Council and the local government to take. And the example that we've given is the Mansa example, where we have a memorandum of understanding. And the system there is not that you have to employ a market manager. You have to employ another staff. There is need for these 3 people from this organization, these 3 people from one. There's nothing like that. There's just a combination of the council and the major stakeholders, and put in place systems that will enhance, for example, revenue collection. For us, Raphael, who have been with the market for almost 36 years, we know what happens when money is collected from the market. It's not all the money that goes to the council coffers. Some of this money go down the drain in between. Mm-hmm. And we made a proof at one given time here in Kitwe, when under Alice Mwinga, we proposed that we do a pilot to collect money as an organization to prove that there is a lot of money which is not reaching the council coffers.
All right, there is a call here. I need just to pick this one. You are through to the Community Viewpoint. Your name and where you calling us from?
Thank you very much indeed.
Your name, sir?
This is Gilbert Wadia calling from Matero, Lusaka.
Yes, Mr. Wadia.
Yes, my contribution to that issue, I think it's a burning issue. I can hear that. Issue of cadres has been a problem, in fact. Now, these people failed to tell the people the truth. They should not release. People are building, helping the marketeers, and then they come in. It's not fair. And they don't know where these people will come from, who come to make those bodies. Leave them, let them do what they are doing. They are already in that process. And the marketeers are happy with them. They come in. I'm totally against.
All right.
Thank you very much. I'm calling from Lusaka Matelo.
All right. Thank you so very much for that.
City within the city.
Okay. 0212-222-877. 0212-222-877 is the number that you can use for your cause so that you participate on the program. Yes, Mr. Kashiwa.
Yes, what I was saying was that there is a system which is favorable, less costly to the marketeer, which is transparent, and also which is very much accountable to all the parties, both the local authority and the people who are the major stakeholders in markets and bus stations. And we would like that this system is the one that is supported, is implemented, other than the market boards. It is true. It is very true that if these market boards are put in place, I mentioned that out of the 8 as a minimum mentioned, there is only 6 that you can count here. Now, if you go to the maximum of 11, where will be the 5 coming from? It tells you what government is looking at. So the issue of even party cadres cannot be ignored here. That the 5 would come from the party.
All right.
To infiltrate the running of this market.
All right. Let me just first of all pick. You are through to the community viewpoint. Your name and where you calling us from. Nibana nibale tumino kufuma kwi.
Mulera ndana ba prominent no muzungu bale tumino kufuma ku Lusaka.
Okay. Banowe.
Mkwai.
Okay, your contribution.
Mkwai ndemi kata se patari ko ena ka topic shikeke tebuno bwino mulando akwati ka network takari bwino sana kuno.
Tulelanda pali formation ya market boards and bus stations.
Oh yeah.
And I have here in the studio Mr. Aston Sakala, who is the Kitwe District Chairperson for AVEMA, Association of Vendors and Marketeers in Zambia, and also Mr. Lamek Kashiwa, who is the Secretary General for the Alliance for Zambia Informal Economy Associations.
Thank you. Ali mu studio mulishani posha mkwai.
Mkwai.
Mkwai kuisaisa kuiri ashiri. I think ututu bungo tuture pangi koto kwebati for example at Association of the Vendors and
Marketeers in Zambia.
Those and kind of associations but it's promote lawlessness. Emwambira na kadarizimu mamuinomo maimona nangwaze natema taxis association of whatever if you mana ministry maimona for example if you association ya vendors if you mana wa council maimona this is just another way of promoting kadarizimu and lawlessness. Maimona bantu abantu ngama bapera amakabu ba association barakwata ka office kana ba market mulia mafweni ngatabari affiliated to a certain political party na to the ruling party nishitaba imiyange tabayitambe bwino maimona tesi so tien tumono ko bati iliora tuli muri ubuteko bare itoko bati bunyu doni tien tumono ko ati let's change our mindset. Let the nani kane abalorokesha hapo abafukire nsakwe ba council transport whatever kind communication ebo balero lesha paris zintu ayama association ebo bale pangaya ine aro mlanda
tulemfa quickly
ayama association ebo bale pangaya ayama association they are just promoting lawlessness. And in the other way, I think it's the other way of creating jobs for these people who supported them, whom we call cadres. My money. So in actually, Chimuna Wino Kweba, association Yare Bako. My money. When we go, even they can talk at Randokwati. When you even go to the unions, these unions, my unions, Yama teachers, I have a massive servants. They do nothing. They just there sitting and eating. My money. They don't even look to the plight of those people whom they are representing. So even vendors, what do you do when you see abantu bale batamfya mu road umuntu amushite banana bamwikatira pone nsara yako ko ati nisho ashire banana pascript bamukubita fine my money nobody should try to Zambians. It's not that everyone can go into ShopRite to go to make some shopping there my money right. So no for turanda pofya ko ati if for na Zambia if in for na for twaikara I am association kuri ine am against of it. They can say a council but they won't be independently. Mama associations no more problems, create more problems there.
All right, thank you so very much for that contribution. You are through to the community viewpoint. Your name and where you calling us from?
Mr. Chala within Indola.
Yes, quickly
nukulomba ko fienga mwalansumisha suggestion kudi imwe bene okoko muri kupaneo ngakwatila abakwati mwa picking according to 2 or 3 questions then bayasuka according nama question of ya ladies nomba abantu balayipusha nomba ma question tatule umfana nguyimo so financial file poyo bapike po abantu abekile ma contributions ya lepangoko
it's a two-way thing. It's a two-way thing, sir. Contributions and questions. So those that feel they don't have questions, they can contribute. That's why the majority of them, they are saying they are in support that these associations continue running the markets and bus stations, and as opposed to the formation of markets and bus stations board. So what? All right.
Maybe it is a correction that association do not run markets.
Hello.
It must be a correction.
Hello.
That association
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, your name and where you calling us from? Quickly, your contribution or question.
Awe programu na tuyumfa bwino kwena sana iso barirondorola ngefine bakiranda after babasuma mukutuminako it's either ulekana nangule sumina so there is no need yako asuka answer ngachako atinene na gaitano na atuma kichumulera ndapo ninchi suminisha na londra na chalenga chi suminisha nangu ninchikana na londra na chalenga chi inchikane so ni shabantu bare umfoko nderondorola iri amuma market ififyama association whatever epatampira ubwafya ubwisa mukuleta ubwafya obukulu iri ngirine ama politics ama problems yambira mu market rero yaya mu station icho kireya epa aba ubwafya so icho turera ndapo kyakutira ati ayama association yo bare fokupanga be yapanga inchito bairekere kuri ba council ora muri ba council
ama associations mayo oko yabaya mu ayapangwa na muno mwine mu studio ebalela nde bali papaneo
kondeisa awama associations mulemo ifitsa mukuchitika government ngabachinja abo abantu ngabale fwalere ya pepo jezi baresa mukuchinja batampo fwalere ya blue the same associations awe nabanyuko ubwafya abo abantu baresa mukubomba na aba politicians iri ngino kalang kwesa sango ko batampiro bwati epalia kateka kuba salire ba UPND nesa sote ko ba UPND kateka alilandire buno kutirati ifishire fifwaya ichati nenga trefo ubwafya bwami ayabo mulemo nawo bali ku studio ko mark my way balesa mkutuka emwisa mukufumesi amakadai baleza mulengira amakadas so ekyo ningalombako kyakweba ati iyo enkitweni tekibayirekere ba council bayibomba eno ekintu kimbi ba UPND mwibula amakadas ayatamu aparents tumuyengise mu council yakatapye okulapanga associations associations yes market temwala abo mana associations yabengi aba market these people they are rich. These people are rich to benefit for the sake of umuntu wachula in the name of associations. Mukulira abantu nearly every day. So into ya associations kuti natimo kwa twaifunyako balekera ba council batampo kuchipefi because they mufumo obwatya. These people they just want to benefit balwabo. Government ngabachinja balasanka ba UPND beka bonza ubali uko. Ngayachinja UPND after 5 years mukeseka emufuma amakada mudaye na associations because ekyo tatwaya temena kwa bantu nganena gaitano mukutira ati emufuma obwasya emufuma entulubundi so ifini za associations mu market this time isentu fifumyeko bakipate benefit bawina batampa government yaisa bachinja government yaisa bachinja so this time we don't want that. Thank you.
All right, thank you so very much, and I'll leave it now to you gentlemen to respond. There are two concerns here that on the opposing side that you should not continue existing in markets and bus stations, but instead just let the affairs to be undertaken by the local authority. Mr. Sakala, yes.
Ndefo okulanda mu Kibemba. Abantu bafuire bakitira differentiate maybe okumfikisha kweshi yakutati running tapali association nangoimo ishtarani ama markets. All the markets are run by the local authority. Ichochene chishinka. What we are saying, the local authority ever in charge of revenue correction, ever in charge in administration work. As stakeholders, we just represent ama marketeers nga bakanso bapange funde hivi ifwe twalaima nokulanshanya na bakanso tifi muchitire nangulolo balefo okubasesha abantu mwali mwene ifi bachilalanda abambi bachilanda fine iba vending uyu washitirema banana bamwikata bamulipirisha nani isi asama association ama vendors association of vendors tufure twaima nokulanda n'obuteko na bakanso kutati ichi mule chitatefyo nokusesha abantu kisesise kitesho ekyo twaberako na kiralondororo kutati ifwenga akabungweke suka avema twali bomba imirimo yingi muno mukitwe iyo abantu nga mwapita muye ku Kamfinsa muye ku Zamtani pandeke changa ku Kamatipa twatasha na Kadori Chisokone Chambori main market kwacha pamusonda mwalasanga takaungweke sukali bomba ifwe ama interest yes kuchitali present ba marketia kwali ama market yambyote tayaba legalize abantu tabayishiba ni ifwe akaungweke suka avema twarisa pushing ako muri uyubuteko about 7 ama markets tayari legalized meaning that ababantu twareka birati bakwata ameshi abakwata amashewota bakwata electricity twali pushinga nefifinda ama market Pazamtani is legalized now. Mukanso nabakwata sheota pakam nani Kamfinsa there's a toilet nabakwata pasentando nipali sheota kandabwa tuleka birati pabe sheota nomba ifwe nchito yesu yakulandira ko bana market na abantu baderanda tibesa mukuwina nshani ifwe tulabomfene mpia shesu uku chitali present ba marketia twaima pano twakurusaka epo bakanso baingira nangura new government yalingira mu office. Who has given me money to come kuno ku studio kuisa mukulandirako nangula iliyo tuima mkuya mukulanda ku local authority ku Kitwe City Council nomba ninefyo ba council balisa imati bafumya abantu mwana Kadoli tabalefwa morning market and shan chapo serenchita inewe inefe ngentunguru shinari saima okutati ifimule chitate ekisuma yo imwe ba council naima nalanda n'entunguru shikalamba okutati abantu bebanani bebafumyako echo twaberako tulabonfya n'olupya lweso tabeshi bafya abantu tatuya mukulomba ku bantu era tatulipirisha ekisho
Mr. Sakala
echo fuire baishiba
Mr. Kashiwa
icho cha number first panel echo ndero mbakufya kutati ifwe twaberako kuchita support government of the day tule ifwe ucho tulelandira pano tule chita encourage tule wakoseresha new government ngaba president wesu wa HH tulebebe okutati I think iyifunde ababambi abama president tabachite implement nanga imwe muri mu office muri 60 days nga mwali pwishe okutati kushe iki kinshi mwakikanine ero nomba ifo twasuka ati ichita chaba wino twabeba ero nomba bafwa yenshira this ifunde should go back to parliament if
yes, Mr. Kashiwa, you should you can now respond to the two concerns because these have actually opposed to the previous callers support that the management board for markets and bus stations should be established, but others are saying it should not be established. What is your response to the two callers?
I think ama callers babili aba I think tabachita understand the topic tulelanda po ifyo ngufile ba supira fyo kulanda pa ma associations ukutila tabafilo kuchita ranya ma market bafilo kulekela ba council but therefore kubalila po you know some of these things abatumona abantu elo abantu ngabaletwa it's also just important for us to acknowledge and be better leaders bakwebati tulebomba bwino n'abantu abachi bailapo ni bashi pressures abachilando kwebati bushe mwalilanda po nango mwalikala po n'obuteko pali uyu mulando then baye bati ubwafa tulesanga tubungwe okuitumpa mu politics. Of course ngabali mwene ntungulushi mona ifwala party ligalia nangubai mwene ntungulushi shibina ngushitatu na ifwala party ligalia. There is no constitution muma market association ya suminisho kuti ntungulushi yukufiro kuba partisan. I think na district chairman bavema bachilandako iwe ntungulushi nga yasangwa iyo organization ya abako bafunu mkumuta discipline panto aleo na ule shina ili achilonganino ichilonganino chonse chifuyo no kubomba no bute ko budipo not ukubomba na political party ilipo tatufiro kubomba ifwe na ba UPND party tufiro kubomba na government ilipo no matter this government is formed by the UPND party we need to work with the government not the party of the day so ngamwamune ntungulushi Kashiwa na fwala party regalia it is your responsibilities as members of Azia to make sure that you discipline Kashiwa ukwebati walatona wilation ali achilongani no fumapo we have a core business that we need to attend to as an organization and that is representing members on issues both economically and socially amafia ayaleba chitikila ngama member that we understand if one person two people by register error more organizations to apapata it's not the whole organization that error it's just one individual two individuals aponga tumalisangire pokutu tuasende echo chirubo kuma organizations ayo mwamwene lelo ichikalamba tulefaya kukana afuma kuli ashi tulipo barafayo ili ama management markets and bus stations management board I am a management board ba Rafael na imwe bantu mwe bale mfwako te yasuma ichalamba wanu naba ku council fyabe na ma employees tulilanda ama market masters na bambi aba cashiers bonse ntoshikapwa bantu ba management board abo bakesa bakengisha abantu babo. Now it's very unfair muchalo motulefu ayabantu kubane nchito bakatampye okutamfya abantu bambi pantu fina bapanga board ya abantu abalefu ayokutaranya ama market that's being unfair te ifo fye katulandiri ati ayama market board mwe bantu fyatulanda lyonse bakengisha ba market master abakwate fi paper ma professional teti mumufoleshe Filipini teti mumufoleshe 5 pini asumina bufyu bwa fititi this I can prove it to you ngabayingisha market manager at one given time they will need the MPA shingi no isho MPA shingi pandeke ishakungisha market manager pandeke hapo mukashifubya kwisa ichi kabapo chakweba ati lundele ndiko emitengo shabantu sho bale pressure mu market ama market levy limbi from 1 kwacha to 5 kwacha umuntu alefiro kulipira 1 kwacha inonshita ngeyo 5 kwacha akayifumya kwisa pede ubuteko tabulemoneka ukwafu abantu nachilanda nati twaba munsta ya corona umu abantu amabusiness bonse yawo naika yafwa bantu babana kunganda balele kabilo ubuteko okubafwa pakuti babwelele mu market elo ubuteko bwaye bati noto mushena tupokolo le tonse mwilao na uleshina la kwa president imwe mwilao na uleshina lya abantu abale tontonkanishisha pabwikalo bw'abantu abajulisha mu market na mu bus station nganamukwata ili ashida ma market board iteni tulande na imwe tumyebe ichashupa ukuthi tukanye ama market board munifena nemye ishishibiri mu government ema mutambe ifya fulunganya futi ifya kulenga ifya mutambe kutukisha obuteko. This is very unfair.
All right.
Tuli very prepared ukuthi decentralize amaka ukupela kubantu ukutsaranya ama markets nama bus stations effort to fire amaka yafile kuba kuya kubantu
lero
mumusango usuma notuyu uwakusenda notu notushere nabantu.
All right, in the best interest of time, we need to come to the end of our discussion today. Obviously, we will have continuous engagements with you, the representatives from the informal sectors associations regarding this issue. You've been listening to the Community Viewpoint. We were discussing issues regarding the formation of management boards for markets and bus stations by the local authority, and I was with Mr. Aston Sakala, who is the Kitwe District Chairperson for Association of Vendors and Marketeers in Zambia, AVEMA, and also Alliance for Zambia Informal Economy Associations, AZIA, Mr. Lamek Kashiwa, who is the General Secretary of the Alliance. Have been your presenter, Raphael Mlenga. Tune in next week, same time, and keep listening to The Connection with the Jim Thang.